Hello, my delightful darlings. Today we are going to make a turban. What you'll need is scissors, something to write with or to mark on your fabric, a rotary cutter, measuring tape, and some sort of ruler. What we're first need to do is to measure the diameter of your hair, and once you get that measurement, which I know mine is 23, we're gonna unfold our fabric and get to cutting. So you want a knit fabric, and make sure you fold it along the part that has the side that has the most stretch. So this is actually a 4-way knit. So, oh, actually it's 2-way. It stretches a little bit that way, but it stretches more this way. So I'm gonna keep it this way, and we're gonna fold it. I don't need all of this. So I can always use this for something else. So I'm just going to use some of the fabric. Straighten that out. It's a little difficult. And I know what I do with my measuring tape. Here it is. So we're going to cut it on the fold, and this is the stretchiest way here. So we're going to cut it on the fold, and I know my measurement is 23 inches. So I'm going to fold it there. So it should be 11.5 inches across this way. So let's get that going. That's not 11.5. A little bit more. That's about 12, but that's good. Because actually, I almost forgot about adding an extra inch so that if you decide to fold it over and sew, it won't take away from the width you need for your head. So, just gonna measure this out, kind of even it up a bit. Take the ruler and the rotary cutter. Clean up that end. And let's see. So what you want to do is, to get that nice ruching effect, we want to cut it from here up to there. But let's make sure we're going to measure from the nape of our head to the front and get that measurement. So that's 13. So I know I at least want to go up to here or a little bit further. So I'm going to mark it with my pen. Scoot that back a little bit. And I'm going to just cut the rest of this extra fabric off first. Then we can play around with it a little bit more. There, that's 13. Let's bring this down a little bit, straighten it out. So that's where we want it to end. So let's see, go up about 1 inch more. So put that over there. And so that we can mark it, let's turn it on the opposite side so we can see what we're marking. A little bit more even. So we're going to make a mark from here to here, and we're going to cut it out. And you want to kind of, we're going to use this side, kind of make it a curve. Just a rough line. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna cut it. Be careful, rotary cutters are really sharp. So now we have our main turban piece. Now there's 2 ways that you can finish this. You can either fold it on the end if you want a finished edge. Fold it on the end here. And sew this part down, which I'm going to do, but I'll show you one special trick that I have. With a lot of sewing, they always say iron it to make it look professional. Sometimes I don't like going over to the iron, so I have a special pair of flat irons, and I take it, fold it over about 1 inch, and I just start flat ironing it. This fabric is not that thick, so it doesn't take that long. So you don't have to do this. You can just fold it under and leave it folded under, because this is the stretchy side. So I like mine sewn. So I'm going to press this. I'm going to put it on my zigzag. Oh, you know, I didn't put on there that you also need a sewing machine. I hope it was in the picture. Well, an option of a sewing machine. You can also do this by hand. Just fold this over, and on the other part do a running stitch. So I'm done with that. I don't want these little tails on, so I'm just gonna clip those right off. It doesn't have to be perfect. Pull my sewing machine towards me. I have it on a number 3, which is a zigzag stitch. I have black thread in my bobbin and my upper thread. And closer to the edge of the part that's folded over is where I'm going to sew. And the zigzag stitch is just so it'll keep it stretched when you put it on. And then I will get my thread stuck in there. Just cut it out. So now this is how it looks. So now the next thing that you'll do is clean it up a little bit. Cut off the strings. And now we're going to do a running stitch from one side to the other, which is going to gather it together. And I don't have black thread right here, so I'll just be using my blue serger thread and a needle. A longer needle is probably a lot better, but this is what I have for right now. Probably want to double thread your needle just so that it'll be stronger, or you can use the Clark's coat thread, which is a lot stronger than this regular thread. So we're just going to start on this end, and you just do a running stitch in, out, pretty close together. And with this, you want to use a knit that's not too thick, because once you gather it, you don't want it to be bulky at the top. Now I'm going to leave this about this much at the end so that the knot won't slip all the way through. And just keep going with the running stitch. So, starting to gather a little bit, but if you pull it apart, you can see the running stitch. They're not too far apart. Bigger needle is always nicer, because I can barely hold this one. It's an easy way to make a turban within what, like, not even 30 minutes, I don't think. I hope you all can see this well. See, and it's starting to gather. We're gonna pull it once we get done with this part. Almost done. I guess this is the longest part. You want to stay pretty close to the edge, but not too close where if the string pulls, it'll make your fabric unravel. Okay, so gonna pull it. And what I like to do is go back in on the opposite side and on the end. Pull it through just to catch the thread and have a way to pull it tighter. You can go back over it again. I'm just going to clip it here. Tie it. You can go back through it again and stitch it some more. But so it'll leave that hole in it like that. You can either take your needle and thread and do catch little stitches to close that up. You can make a bow and sew a bow onto it. So now I am going to, I didn't want the hole, so I'm going to take it like this and stitch it a bit to try to get rid of, close up that hole. So again, like if you have some Clark's thread, the Clark's coat thread that's a lot thicker, and you want to go in the other end where you created your knot, stick the needle through there and pull it. So then you'll just keep going through the edge and make sure you catch it, and just run it a few times. With just measurements, you can make anybody a turban. You can make baby turbans. Add what you want on them. Just find a spot and tie it off, which is creating a knot. Do it a couple of times. Cut that off. Flatten it out a little bit. And make sure, right here you can see some right there, so make sure you kind of make sure your threads and everything are tied off on the opposite side and far enough where you won't see it. I'm just going to cut that off. It shouldn't unravel. And that's the ruching in the front. And that's your easy 30-minute turban. Now, well, I hope you guys like my video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And join me next time. Thank you.